In this video, I'm going to share with you how to sound more like the song Sweet Home Alabama. So it sounds something like this. And we've got... See, what happens is when players learn online, and by the way, I've been playing, oh my God, 26 years I think at this stage, so I've been playing this song for a long time. Oftentimes I see players and students, when they go to learn this, they'll look it up online. So if you already looked this song up, you will hear there's arrows and you do down and you do up and you follow the tab numbers, and at the real top of learning guitar, that's information, but the implementation, how you actually make it sound out, is what actually makes you sound like the song. So it's not always about finding the accurate tab or accurate song lyric sheet. It's about pausing at that point and really looking at, well, how are they making that sound? And you don't always have to buy new guitars. If you want to buy a guitar to sound more like them, do it. But I'm doing it on a Baby Taylor. Now, the first thing I'm going to share here is, and there's 3 things in this video I'll share. The first thing is the intro. When you get it, and I'm not teaching the song, I'm literally bringing you through the technique so you can learn off other channels and things like that. But see over here the way my pick in hand is. Hear that honk? I get that for 2 reasons. First is I'm picking this side of the sound hole. Otherwise, I get that. That nice southern sound, right? So, now, second thing is the way I hold the pick. This is how I hold the pick generally when I strum. Now, I want you to notice my index and my thumb, what's about to happen here, and watch these 3 fingers, right? Watch. See the way I really pinched the thumb and the index together, and you'll see the fingers kind of harden here. Now, they're not going to harden fully, but just to give you an example. So instead of picking like this, nice and light, you want to get that honk. You could be using a strumming type of pick, but I like these. They really allow you to play lead guitar well. Now, that's step 1. And to put this into practice, what you want to do is, and by the way, I know you might be wondering, what are the real notes of Sweet Home Alabama, or where's an accurate tab? There is an Ultimate Guitar link put below for after this video, right? So you can get it there. And I also have 101 songs, sing-along songs that I played for the last 25 years that are really great crowd pleasers that people love. So if you want to grab that below, you'll find that also in the description. Now, that's the intro. And the way you put this into practice is you only take that amount. Only practice it on rotation over and over to train your hand to sound that way. And as an experiment, you could try and do the whole line using that. Like if you go. And see how far you get with it. A lot of players will find that if you just try and do the whole line now with your new technique, that the hand will forget to do it. You'll look at a chord shape, kind of stumble, look at both hands, and you'll, in that sentence or that line, and kind of go, how did that go? I don't know. Did I do it all the time? But if you pick one part and do it with certainty, that will really help. Now, the next part. So now we've gotten the intro, and that's, you'll do that on everything. And it's the same with the fill. Let's get into the strumming. On Ultimate Guitar or other sites, you'll see things like this. And that may even have sounded like some online tab players because all the strings are being hit equally like this. But the nuance is this. Right, now I'm going to share a little bit of this, right? The trick with this is you want to look at, here I pick the root note. Then I strum the 4 strings as normal. But when I do that down up, I'm only strumming the bottom 2 to 3 strings. That's all I'm doing. And you might be like, is it 2 or is it 3, Dave? Which one? It's both. Like, you don't obsess over hitting 2 or 3 strings. Aim for 2 or 3. It's totally cool. Watch. Then. And again, I'm brushing those strings on the C add 9. I'm doing, instead of this, everything's happening all at once. And the last thing you want to do with these strum patterns is, because online you'll often see, this is the strum pattern. You do it on this chord, this chord, this chord, all the way through the song. But the reality is, many bands don't just pick one strum pattern and only do it the whole way through. Like if I do Sweet Home Alabama using that exact strum pattern all the way through, listen to this. Sweet wheels keep on turning, carry me home, sound like a robot all the time, yeah? The nuances, big wheels keep on turning, carry me home to see my kin, and little fills, the little piano bits, right? But again, that sounds like it's just flowing as if I would have decided, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it the whole way through that line. But to get that level of like nuance and to get that level of effortless, just changing things up a bit, it does take that precise practice to decide what you're going to do. And again, it's the same as the intro. You do that on one chord only. One chord only. You train your hand. And the way you know your hand is starting to behave the way you want it to behave on guitar, your strumming hand, is that you're thinking about it a lot, you're telling it what to do, you're looking at your hand, you're checking everything's okay, and then after a couple of minutes, start kind of chilling out a bit and just kind of pretend you're at the movie theater, you have some popcorn, and you're observing your hand to just see if it's starting to do the movements automatically. That's when you know it's starting to go into muscle memory, right? So that's the second thing. So step one, we had our intro. And then we had our... Now, the third step in sounding more like the song, and the third step that a lot of players miss, is that they go into the singing and playing of it far too early together. So we've talked about very fine details, the intro, the verse, and oftentimes when players get the verse working, they'll go, okay, I'm just going to sing now. But then what happens is, if you start to sing and play too soon in songs, you can finish a song, and if somebody like pulled you aside and said, hey, let's say your name's John. Hey, John, how did that go? And you turned around, all right, I think. Yeah, I missed a few bits, I think. But do you see the way the precision is gone now? Because we tried to sing and play it too early. Whereas if you played it on its own, without singing, and somebody said, how did that bit go? I actually missed some arrows on the D there. I strummed all the strings on the D instead of some. Do you see the way that is? With certainty, somebody could say, this is where I went wrong. And I know how to fix it because I know I need to go back and practice. Whereas if you sing and play too soon, you can play for too much, for too long, everything all at once, and not really know where you need to laser in on. That's really important. And it's a step that's often missed out on. So just keep an eye on that you don't start singing too early. Now, how do you approach the singing and playing? You take a section at a time. You are far better practicing the patience to have the verse drilled for a week and play the chorus for fun and stuff. You know, we want to have fun, and this can be fun. And at the end of a week that you can look back and go, yeah, no, I'm definitely making progress on Sweet Home Alabama, the verse now. And I've started some singing on top of it. That is so different than just singing and playing and hoping that it's going to be okay. Because 9 times out of 10, it won't. And what happens is players, you'll end up settling for that sound and go, well, look, it sounds better than it did. And at least I'm singing and playing it. I couldn't sing and play a year ago. That's very valid. At the same time, that means that you didn't really dig into the technique and master it. And now you've Sweet Home Alabama kind of half working. And we all know what happens. I did the very same. You could look up a song then and you go, look, I kind of have that one now. Yeah, sure, look, that's good enough. and then you move to a new song and the pattern repeats. But if I promise you this, let's hang this up a sec. If you master the technique on Sweet Home Alabama, you carry that confidence into more songs. That's what I did. It's so important to have that patience and that persistence on the technique. Underneath all the songs we love that we listen to, whether it's Sweet Home Alabama, whether it's whatever songs, Guns N' Roses, anything, the Beatles, there's technique there. If their chords were unclear, if their changes were slow, if their strumming was unsteady or out of rhythm, we wouldn't have enjoyed those songs. And I say that not as in, what's the word? Like, I completely understand, and I work with players the whole time who struggle with these things and work past it. So it's a phase of guitar that happens. But if you're trying Sweet Home Alabama, the picked intro and all that stuff, you are at the level then to like start really digging into the mastery of it. And the mastery is in the technique, which is in those drills. All right, hope that makes sense. And have fun, of course. But the paradox of the whole fun thing is, like, when I kind of surrendered to how much time and energy and effort it would take to really master technique on guitar, and I thought, this is what it takes. This takes an hour of me focusing on this one bunch of notes for an hour over and over. It's tough. I want to do other stuff. But when I'd come back from the hour, my hands felt different. My technique was different. And when you can do that, you carry that confidence into the next song and the next song. And you look back a year later and you go, my God, I've really got my technique together this year. But it takes that discipline and focus. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to find out more, or if you want to dig into more technique work together, I have a school of guitar. You'll find out more below in the description. We have an amazing online community. You'll find the link below. Thanks for watching.